Introducing the one cordless chainsaw with the power of now. Now comes the battery muscle you need to do real work. So it's adios to gasoline. Now comes a chainsaw that's ready when you are, that starts instantly and runs longer than ever. With no pull cords, no gas oil mixing, no deafening noise. And now comes a built-in sharpening system so advanced, you'll never cut with a dull chain again. Cut it easy, cut it fast, cut it now. The Oregon Power Now 40-volt max chainsaw. Breakthrough cordless power like nothing you've ever seen until now.
Welcome to Tool Talk.
We have another great show for you today as my partner Joe here tries to convince me how great a battery-powered chainsaw can be. Maybe, maybe not.
I gotta tell you, I tried this new cordless chainsaw, the Oregon Power Now 40-volt max, and I'm a believer. My buddy Lou here doesn't buy into the whole battery-powered thing, but I think this baby is the perfect tool for all kinds of jobs. So we're gonna see who's right and who's Lou, and we're gonna have some fun doing it.
Look, Joe, I love the Oregon brand, okay? I mean, Oregon's been a leader in chainsaw components for like a zillion years. But a battery-powered saw? I've tried these things. They feel like toys. They're awkward to use, and they just don't have the muscle that you need for fast, easy cutting.
Louie, you don't get it. The people at Oregon have made a cordless saw that is totally different. They've taken the world's most advanced lithium-ion batteries and combined them with real chainsaw components, the best components out there. They're completely blowing away conventional wisdom like yours, and I use the term wisdom loosely.
A battery is great for a drill, Joe, but for a chainsaw, I'm not convinced.
Batteries can run cars, for Pete's sake.
Gasoline runs cars.
Okay, it's time for our first test, where I show Lou just how wrong he is.
Yeah, let's just do this.
Yeah, let's do it. We're here at the official Tool Talk Outdoor Test Lab.
AKA Barnyard.
We're gonna see how the Oregon Power Now cordless saw matches up against a gas chainsaw on a test of readiness. Because one of the things you want in a chainsaw is that it's ready when you are.
We're gonna make a half a dozen cuts on these limbs to simulate a medium-sized pruning job. Which one of these saws gets the job done faster? The cordless Oregon saw or my trusty gas saw?
Ready, set.
Wait. I just remembered I gotta fuel up.
One of the great things about the lithium-ion battery in this saw is that it can hold its charge for months at a time, and it starts up in an instant. So no matter when you need it, it is always ready. Not like my man Lou over there.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go! I love how fast the Oregon Power Now saw gets to work. There's no fuel hassles, no chokes, no pull cords, and certainly no warm-up time you get with a gas saw. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're a homeowner, a rancher, or even a pro landscaper, you're gonna love how easy it is to start cutting right away. It's why Oregon calls it the Power Now saw.
Okay, I'm ready.
Another thing, there's no hideous noise either.
What did you say?
I said I'm finished.
All right. Okay, you won that round. But I've still got plenty of questions about this whole battery-powered thing, and the show is still young.
With the organ saw, the power was just there.
You pick up the saw, press the trigger, and you make your cut, and you're ready to go. There's no heat, no exhaust, no fumes. A lot less time involved, and saving time is what's important in this business.
The organ saw had plenty of power. We had a dead fir tree with a 14-inch diameter, and it went right through it and cut it down.
Anybody can operate this puppy. It's just that simple. As far as Enchanted Gardens Landscape Service is concerned, there's a place for this saw on all of our trucks.
You know, I don't blame Louie here for being skeptical about battery power.
I'm glad to hear that.
In fact, up until a few years ago, you'd never think a battery could run an outdoor power tool like this.
Okay, so what is it about these lithium-ion batteries that's so great?
Well, for one thing, they put out much more power pound for pound than NiCad rechargeables. So you get the muscle you really need to run a chainsaw.
Okay, but sooner or later it's going to fade, right? And then it's going to get sluggish and slow, right?
Nope, wrong. Lithium-ion batteries give you a constant full power charge right up until discharge, and that means a longer useful charge.
Yeah, that's all swell, but how much actual cutting time are you going to get with this battery? I mean, it can't possibly be enough to do serious work.
Remember that pile of branches your wife keeps bugging you about?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, I hope you like serious work.
You didn't. Mm-hmm. You did. Got me again. Way to go.
As my buddy Lou's about to find out, lithium-ion batteries don't just hold charges longer, they deliver more power over longer times, too. That means you can keep cutting and cutting and cutting. You can cut till you're blue in the face like Lou, and then you'd be ready for a cold one.
Did somebody say cold one?
And when you do need to recharge, all it takes is an hour and you're good to go for many more cuts.
You're starting to make a believer out of me, Joe.
So how'd you do?
I stopped counting at 100, and there's plenty of juice left. But I still have some questions.
You know, long battery life and no fade power makes a big difference, and not just to the average guy. Pros who use the Oregon Power Now love that kind of reliability, too.
You saying pros use this?
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about guys who really know their chainsaws.
My name is David Yanis. I own and operate a Peace of Mind Landscape, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I was a little skeptical about a battery-powered chainsaw at first, but the first time I used it, I cut a tree down that was about this big around. I started cutting away at it, and I was so impressed that this thing had the power to cut this tree down. Got the tree down, and then I also realized how quiet it was. I hadn't even taken that into consideration. I wasn't annoying the rest of the neighborhood. Had quite a bit of torque. It's just instant power. You pull the trigger and the power's there. I was able to keep the saw closer in to my body without getting blasted in the face with smoke. I just started to notice that the chainsaw wasn't cutting through this piece of wood. So I pulled it out, I sharpened the chain for 3 seconds, I put it back in, and it cut the rest of the way like it was butter. I was impressed with the battery life on the organ saw. It kept going. Organ saw is ready to work when you're ready to work.
With the organ saw, you pull the battery out of the charger, you put it in the receptacle, you squeeze the trigger, and you cut wood. It's just that simple.
It's simple. It seems to operate. You don't have to get involved with an engine because it doesn't have all the moving parts that a normal conventional engine's going to have.
Press the button, pull the trigger, and the Oregon chainsaw starts immediately.
The batteries were really surprising because I never would have expected batteries to last that long.
Well, there's no prep. The battery's in, you have the safety trigger, the trigger, and you're immediately cutting. I didn't have to warm it up. I didn't have to find my 2-cycle oil. I didn't have to find a wrench. I mean, it was immediate use.
Well, Welcome back to Tool Talk. We're Joe and Lou, the Toolkit guys.
And we've been putting the Oregon Power Now 40-volt max chainsaw through its paces.
So far, we've seen that this brand new cordless saw is amazingly easy to use. It starts instantly every time, and there's never a hassle with pull cords or chokes or fuel mixing.
And we put it through a grueling endurance test, which I must admit proves that this battery has more life in it than I do. I mean, you can literally make a couple of hundred cuts per charge. So, if you want to take a break, you're going to have to come up with a better excuse than low battery power.
One of the very best things about the Oregon Power Now saw is that you never have to take it to the shop for sharpening, ever.
Okay, hold on. I got to stop you because I keep hearing about this built-in sharpening system, and I got to express a little bit of doubt. Are you saying that this saw can sharpen itself better than a saw mechanic can sharpen it? I mean, is that what you're saying?
I'm not only saying it, I'm going to prove that a POWERSHARP system built into this saw can do just that. By the way, have you ever cut concrete with a chainsaw?
You gotta be nuts.
Has that ever stopped either one of us before?
No.
All right then, let's go to the test lab. I've got the Oregon Power Now saw. Lou has his old gas saw, and we're gonna see what kind of havoc we can wreak on these saw chains by cutting concrete.
You are nuts.
If you ever want to see how dull a saw chain can get, this is it. Let's do it.
Ah, this is crazy, man.
Let's see what kind of horrendous damage we've done to these chains. Let's check it out.
Yikes, I can't even make a scratch in this wood.
Me neither.
I thought the motto of our show was never a dull moment.
You are correct, sir. So let's sharpen our chains. While Lou starts to file his chain, all I have to do is pull a lever to activate the built-in POWERSHARP system. I run it 3 to 5 seconds, and that is it. This chain is as sharp as new. As for Lou and his saw...
Are you kidding? I'm just getting started.
And yet my Oregon Power Now chain is ready now. How is that possible? Look, inside the saw is a precision-engineered diamond link that ensures each and every cutter is sharpened to its cutting best. It sharpens the chain on the saw, on the job, in seconds. So you'll never cut with a dull chain again. Meanwhile, it's gonna take Lou a half an hour to file his.
No, I'll just take it to the saw shop with my other chains.
With the Oregon Power Now, you can forget all that. There's no more hassles, no more costs, no more downtime when the chain gets dull. And no other chainsaw in the world can make that claim.
It's a dream come true for anybody that operates a chainsaw to not have to deal with chain sharpening.
Keep the saw running and pull the little red trigger and it sharpens it right up.
I used the automatic chain sharpener and it went right back to full power and cut the tree just like it was a new chain.
It's time consuming to sharpen a traditional saw, and so having something built in like the POWERSHARP feature was great.
There's no cordless chainsaw I know of that combines the long battery life and always sharp performance you get with this saw. Where did all this ingenuity come from? It came from an American manufacturer named Oregon. Oregon's been a pioneer in the chainsaw industry since 1947. And today, they're the #1 producer of saw chain in the entire world. The engineers at Oregon spent 2 years combining the latest battery technology with a breakthrough chainsaw design. They beat it up, shook it up, and ran it harder and hotter than anyone in his right mind would to make sure it passed all the industry standards. The results? The Oregon Power Now 40-volt max chainsaw, an unmatched combination of power and convenience.
That's all pretty impressive. But you know, what I want to know is, can this chainsaw, can this battery-powered chainsaw make the really big cut? I mean, I got a maple tree this big I got to take out. Can this baby handle that?
That's a good question. It just so happens our crack staff of test lab engineers rounded up a log that is the exact diameter of Louie's tree.
That's amazing. Look at that. It's so coincidental.
Look, none of us are going to be Paul Bunyan with this saw falling big timber. But the Oregon Power Now does have a 14-inch bar, And really, how often are you gonna need to cut more than that? Plus, this saw has the muscle to use every inch of that bar, which means it can handle most of the jobs you got.
All right. I really don't want to like this saw because I'm a gas saw guy. But you're making it hard on me. I mean, everything you're showing me makes me think that this Oregon saw is just as good as a gas saw. Maybe even better. But will people who depend on their gas saws really go for this?
Does a one-legged duck swim in circles?
I don't know.
Let's meet a homeowner with a lot of wooded land and a brand new chainsaw to help keep it looking great.
I love the Oregon saw, #1, because the ease of use. I can keep it sharp all the time. I don't have to worry about carrying around a can of gas in the back of my truck, potentially spilling. Last week I had an 8-inch cherry tree that I've been wanting to take down, and having the Oregon chainsaw available to me, I applied it to the trunk and was concerned that I might be biting off more than I could chew, but I was pleasantly surprised. It took that tree down with no problem at all. Well, using the Oregon chainsaw, it's not near as loud as a gas-powered saw. It doesn't emit that sound that tells the whole neighborhood I'm cutting trees. It sounds like I'm using a tool. To sharpen a gas-powered saw, if I were a great sharpener, it's still going to take 10 to 15 minutes. And if you're cutting a lot of wood in a day, you're going to have several cycles. You're going to do it quite often. This 5 to 7 second sharpening cycle with an Oregon chainsaw is amazing. It really doesn't slow down your work. It's about the time you'd need to just move to the next limb or move to the next tree or branch. It was made to be on the job site. The Oregon chainsaw is just, the newest weapon in my arsenal. It's one that works. I love the Oregon saw, #1, because the ease of use. I can keep it sharp all the time. I don't have to worry about carrying around a can of gas in the back of my truck, potentially spilling, making sure I have the proper mix with the can of gas and oil.
The Oregon chainsaw is a real convenient tool.
Throw the battery in there and push the button, and it started right up for me.
I just make sure I have a charged battery, I throw it in, and I'm cutting. My chain is dull, I pull the POWERSHARP out, I'm cutting.
The brand speaks for itself. I mean, if you've ever been around a chainsaw, you know Oregon chains and Oregon bars.
Welcome back to Tool Talk. We've been cutting up and having fun with the Oregon Power Now 40-volt max chainsaw.
We've put this tool through all kinds of tests to prove that no gas saw anywhere can beat it for how it combines power and convenience. We've seen that the Oregon Power Now starts instantly every time. No more pull cords, no more chokes, no more hassles with fuel mixing.
We found that the lithium-ion battery in this baby has all the power you need to do serious work. And you can get so much cutting done on one charge that you'll probably wear down before the battery does.
We've seen that this is the one saw you'll never have to take to the shop for sharpening.
Joe ran this chain on concrete. I thought he was crazy.
But I just turned on the built-in POWERSHARP system, and in 5 seconds, the chain was as sharp as new. There is no other chainsaw in the world, gas-powered or not, that sharpens the chain on the saw, on the job, in seconds.
You know, Joe, I've always been a gas chainsaw kind of guy. I guess it's in my blood. The roar of the engine, the oily clothes, the sweet fumes of gasoline in the morning.
And you like all of that?
Oh, heck no, I hate all that, which is why I've totally changed my mind about this. You know, for small or medium-sized jobs, there's no gas saw anywhere that can beat this saw when it comes to combining power and convenience.
Hey, back when a gas chainsaw was the only alternative, you'd put up with stuff like hard starting and long warm-up times.
Oh, you'd get a full body workout just getting the saw running.
And the noise?
You can't even hear yourself think. Of course, for some people, that's not a problem.
Ah, but that was then and this is now. Just pull the trigger and listen to this. The Oregon Power Now 40-volt max runs so much quieter, your neighbors won't even know you're working.
They can sleep in on Saturday mornings, like me.
And it's cleaner with no fuel emissions.
It charges up fast, and in between jobs, the charge lasts for months.
And since this is a pro-quality saw, it's got these safety features, like a built-in chain brake and a low kickback chain and bar design.
I got to admit it, this time I'm convinced. I'm a convert.
I knew you'd finally see the light.
Oh,
Being able to grab that battery and put it in and not have to fuss with gas, mixing, being out of gas, having bad gas, having gas go bad in the carburetor over the winter when you're not using the equipment. This thing, the battery sits on the charger, you pull it out of the charger, you put it in, and it's ready to go.
With the Oregon battery power, I mean, it's immediate power on demand. I don't have to pull and pull and pull. I hit the button and the trigger, and I'm cutting.
If you want a product that is ready to work when you're ready to work, buy the Oregon chainsaw.
The Oregon chainsaw is just, you know, the newest weapon in my arsenal. It's one that works.
Okay, our verdict. For pruning, for branch removal, for anything around your property, the Oregon Power Now 40-volt max chainsaw is a winner.
And if you're like me, you'll love having another choice besides a gas saw.
Ooh, I feel bad for them if they're anything like you.
Nice.
Hey, we're going to be back with another edition of Tool Talk, but until next time, don't be a fool.
Use the right tool.